Welcome to the Fans Edge Sports Show. Talk about the X's and O's. Talk and break down for the success of each team.
Slow your roll.
Whether he has something to do with it or not, we are adding that to the clock.
No team gonna freaking run the ball like that. That's challenging your manhood.
Not too much.
People still remember that.
So look, I don't need to hear anything from you, Mike.
It's been a crazy week for college football.
They value seniority.
When they're looking at the schedule, that's a tough schedule. Go beat everyone.
You already know.
Let's go.
You already know.
What up, everybody? It's your boy Ron James here, guest hosting the Fans Edge. I feel like I'm guest bartending on the drinking holiday of the year. It's the night before Thanksgiving, the biggest drinking night of the year outside of New Year's Eve. And I am here with you guys here on the Fans Edge, guest co-hosting with my guys Mike and Eli. Fellas, how you doing on this pre-holiday?
Doing good. Can't complain. I'm back in the great state of Ohio, in Cleveland, Ohio, seeing my family. So if my background looks a little different, folks, that's why, man. So it's been good for me. What about you, Eli?
I'm feeling good, man. It's closer to the game, man. So I'm excited to talk ball and kind of just go from there. But getting close to the game, man, each and every day is inching closer to it. So I'm excited, man.
Absolutely. Great to have you here on the platform. Mike out here repping with the Fans Edge merch. I got to get me some of that.
I'm about to cop one, man. Hey.
That's what I'm saying, man. We're here. Mike's in Ohio. I will be pulling up on Chris Drew in Ohio for the game. We got big things to celebrate. It's Chris's mom's birthday. It's the game. It couldn't be a better way to spend the holiday weekend. But, man, we got a ton to get into. I want to preview the game a little bit by talking about your guys' relationship with this rivalry. I know all of us have different walks in life as far as how we become Buckeye fans and why we are Buckeye fans. So I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on the rivalry, just your favorite memory from the rivalry. Mike?
Man, my favorite memory, the Glenville guys, man. Troy Smith, bro, coming out there, you know what I'm saying? Like digging his feet in the ground, man, just coming out there like he's Superman. That's definitely one of my favorite memories, because I follow Troy Smith. I followed Ted again with them being, Eastside Cleveland guys. I followed them tough. So that's one of my favorite childhood memories, just growing up, watching them guys ball out and, just giving it to the team up north every single time, Jim Tressel style.
Yeah, man. Honestly, there's a lot of different particular memories as far as within the rivalry. But for me personally, I'll probably say the Dwayne Haskins time where he came in late, made big plays down the stretch. Because that was one of them games where it's closer. We obviously have lopsided victories between the rivalry, but I would definitely say the Dwayne Haskins time where he came in, made a big throw. Nobody knew who he was, and that was really a highly contested game. It was a closer game, so it made it more significant as well. And he's got, I'm not sure how many reps he got, going to that game, but that was just a really good game for him. Completing that pass to Austin Mack, man, right on the rope, right under pressure, man. And I think for me personally, I really started following Ohio State, man. Like, that particular moment, that kind of anticipated the game, man. That's kind of like one of the things where it's brought the best out of the team, bro. So I think, that was definitely one of the better memories for me.
Yeah, man, I hate to be unoriginal, but that is also my moment. That was my first time ever attending the game. My uncle, it was his 50th birthday that year. He is a fan of the team up north. I bought him tickets to the game as his Christmas present, and we went to the game together, had a great time. Was sitting in a sea of Michigan fans. The most lackluster security of any stadium I've ever been into, walked right in there with a fifth in my jacket, and we had ourselves a time in the stands. And the Teton fans around us, like, we're doing shots in the stands and everybody's super cool. And the Buckeyes go down in that game and they are letting me have it in the stands. And you know what I mean? The Buckeyes, obviously, we hadn't experienced the past 2 years. I wasn't on Twitter at the time doing Buckeye content, so I wasn't really as much of a public figure when it comes to the rivalry back then. So even at that point, I was thinking down in that game, wow, this really stinks. But for the most part, I haven't seen the Buckeyes lose to Michigan. So if I'm here and I have to see a loss, it's with my uncle. He's a team of the fan up north. At least it'll be a good present to say, hey, you got to see the misery on my face, and you got to see the big house for the first time. That was his first time ever in Michigan Stadium as a 50-year-old lifelong Michigan fan. And to be able to get that victory, I almost felt bad at the end because it was like, I brought you here for this. And he's a huge hockey fan. Something that I wanted to talk about when you talk about this rivalry is if you ever get a chance to go to the game, it'll be Friday night. The hockey team's playing Yost Arena, one of the coolest sporting venues I've ever been into. Their hockey fans are super fanatics. I mean, they're like soccer hooligans, and Michigan was highly ranked at that time. My uncle's a big hockey fan. We went to that game, and Ohio State was unranked and beat a ranked Michigan team in hockey the night before the game, and then, of course, the game on Saturday. So it was an awesome time, and it was a cool present to be able to give. And, I mean, looking back on it now, the way Michigan fans have acted, I don't feel as bad about beating him on his birthday trip. So that is my favorite memory from this rivalry, and it goes back to as heated as things get on the timeline. It shows kind of almost how fake and boisterous people are online, because when I went to Ann Arbor, people were so friendly. People were so nice, offering beers, you know what I mean, taking pictures in the bar. Everybody was super cool. So don't let the online tough guys and gangsters fool you. Ann Arbor is a beautiful town. It is a very nice place, and the people are quite friendly there. So if you do go to the game, you more than likely will enjoy yourself if you don't go up there and act a fool, because as much as the people are loud and obnoxious on Twitter, I don't think that represents the majority of their fan base. So if you are going to the game on Saturday, I would imagine you're probably going to have a good time. Q, what's your favorite memory?
Ooh, that's a good question. I thought I was going to get a nice intro, and it just threw me in the show. And I was like, oh, okay.
That's actually been happening. Mike joined the Buckeye Roast earlier this week, and he texted me after the show. He goes, "Man, I didn't mean to just bring myself up on stage." I'm like, I'm pretty sure that's a glitch in the StreamYard software right now, because Q joined and he was just like, "Welcome."
Okay. Oh man, favorite memory in the rivalry. That's a good question. I mean, I remember that 1 versus 2 matchup in 2006 so much. It was just like the game of the century. It was so hype. I remember us actually kicking off at 3:30 and the game ending at night, and it was just like a beautiful scene. I think that's where the president just came in on the helicopter and everything. So that was a big time game. That's probably my first big memory in the rivalry. If we go more recent, I would probably say Justin Fields coming back in 2019 and just getting off the knee injury and throwing that dot to Garrett Wilson in the end zone. That's probably my most recent favorite memory of the game.
If that's not the most Virginia Buck answer I've ever heard. Everything goes back. Yeah, we get it. You live near the White House.
Okay, so the president showed up. That's
a Turpin take. Terrapin, whatever they call
it. And the president was there.
Yeah.
I think what makes both those games special, like the Dwayne Haskins one, and also like you mentioned, the 2019 one, they're both on the road too, both in their house, both, we're executing on a high level, playing Ohio State football, at crunch time, when they're expecting to keeping quality stops, and we come out there and persevere, man. That was really big for sure.
Yeah, no, I love the road games, man. I always like the white uniform. I think it looks clean when we go on the road, especially like when it was snowing. A couple of times ago we went there, but it's something about that road mentality. Even playing sports, when you go on the road and it's just like you roll in with your boys and it's just you against really everybody. The crowd ain't gonna be with you, man. In Virginia, there is some places really out in the cut where the refs is throwing the game. There's no metropolis, nobody regulating, just the refs can do whatever they want. So it's just something about going on the road, man. It just makes it big time, and to get that win just means more.
Braxton Miller out there slapping around Teton players, putting their hands to them boys when they tried to rough up Dontre, and then the iconic Marcus Hall walking out of the stadium, flipping the bird to them Teton fans, boy, and then we beat them, man. That was just beautiful, man.
No, 100%. There have been some great games. Like I said, regardless whether who's good, who's bad, who's highly ranked, and who's not. Most times, other than maybe that 2015 game, you find a way to make it a really good game. There's always drama. It's like, how are they in this? Their team is 6-6. Like, how's this close? But that's the way it happens.
Yeah, absolutely. It is one of the best rivalries in sports. Some would argue the best. I want to ask you guys, the Buckeyes, we've watched them have plenty of success in our lifetime, as Mark Rogers so eloquently tweeted. If you were 3 and under or over the age of 100 years old, you have bragging rights in this rivalry. Everyone else, as Buckeye fans at any other age other than greater than 3 and under the 100, have bragging rights in this rivalry. This past 2 years has been absolutely hell on the timeline. I don't know if it's just because we are so much more involved in the consequences of Ohio State. We cover the team and have spent a year in the public eye with people knowing us because of the Ohio State Buckeyes. What has it been like on the timeline, and just as an Ohio State fan, not having the bragging rights these past 2 years and dealing with these obnoxious ass fans? Mike?
It's terrible, man. It's honestly terrible when you talk about a team that's just been down, or what they like to call themselves a blue blood, has been down for so long. It's sad to watch people who just don't know how to talk trash at all. I don't even think that they've been watching their team through the 2 decades when we was beating them, because they don't even know how to talk ball. So when we try to talk ball with them, what do? Go to the personal attacks and all of this stuff and switch up some crazy delusional narratives and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, I just think it's crazy, but we tried to warn people on the timeline. We tried to tell.
I think Mike is having some connection issues, but like he was saying, I mean, we tried to warn the national fans, because everyone hates Ohio State and they love to just jump on any bandwagon that's going against Ohio State. And people saw Michigan as an easy opportunity there. Eli, you are newer to the Twitter spaces, man. What has it been like to be in the public eye and a face associated with the voice of Ohio State football, man, and you being a target on the timeline with the vitriol of the team up north?
Yeah, man, it's something new every day. It's not a day that goes by I don't see a tweet referring to Ohio State and Michigan and those guys, kind of comparing and contrasting us versus them. And you can definitely tell that the last 2 years, I guess, kind of springboarded their program and how they feel about the team, whatnot. But from my perspective, it's kind of like we look at it like we've been successful for a long time. So for them, it seems like it's the first time they really were able to feel confident about talking about the rivalry and things like that. But it's interesting, man. I came around in a time where, that's when literally right when that 21 game happened, that was the first time, So I was active on Twitter, but not like in the rivalry as far as from seeing it before then. To kind of compare and contrast how they would talk before then versus 2021, 2022.
Their fans were non-existent, Eli.
Non-existent.
They were non-existent.
Non-existent.
Nobody knew who that fan base was on Twitter before 2021. They had maybe a couple people outside, but that's it.
Was there somewhere other than Twitter that you would go and talk Ohio State football or talk your shit? Because I don't know about you guys, message boards never really fucked with your boy Ron. Never. Like, I had no motion. I would say shit and niggas would be like, "Shut the fuck up," and dislike the hell out of my post. I had a little safe space on Bleacher Report, which is ironic that we, work with them now. But like, I posted on there a ton. I would go over to the Michigan community all the time. The second that I saw a Michigan community rolled out, I was like, "Oh, bet I'm in there talking big shit." And I talked. They really wouldn't venture over into the Ohio State community. And then all of a sudden, they started feeling froggy. And now it seems like they think the Ohio State community on the Bleacher Report app is there. So I'm interested to see how they react if they have this loss. I just was interested if you guys had interactions with Michigan fans. I know You know what I mean? Mike, you've been in Texas for almost a decade. Q, you're in Virginia. You guys have been all over the place. Where have you guys interacted with Michigan fans elsewhere outside of the timeline these past 2 years, or is this your introduction to dealing with Michigan fans on a regular basis?
For me, I mean, I have a couple of friends, unfortunately for them, who are Michigan fans. So when the game rolls around, man, we do talk trash, especially before and after the game. And I've been good for the most part. I just have to think, like, we've lost 2 in a row, but God damn, how was the 2000s for them? Get your ass whooped year in, year out. Like, that had to be painful because I feel those two, and I'm like, damn, bro, it's been 2 years. Like, they'd be like, bro, I've never seen a win. So it's gotta be crazy on that end. And then also, like, Twitter is a new introduction because people become personalities they really aren't in real life on Twitter. They just start going crazy. But it was just funny. I mean, I remember me and Cam, when we first linked up on Twitter, we were just in the Miami space, just talking trash. Like, we go to Texas next, talking trash like that. Every fan base was doing that besides Michigan. So until really that victory happened, then it was like, oh, wait, we were searching for a Michigan space and couldn't find it.
I remember that.
We're like, bro, we rated the SEC. We go to the Pac-12. We talk shit to everybody. Could not find Michigan until that game.
Yeah,
Eli, how about you? Go ahead, Mike.
I had a couple friends, and one of my friends, bro, like, you know, only thing that he would say is, oh, we'll see next year. That was all he was able to ever say was, oh, we'll see about that next year. Like, now they're doing crazy narratives and all of this stuff. So, like Q was saying, I couldn't imagine being down for 2 decades, but I mean, when you talk about what all the other national people say and, you know, friends from I mean, one thing that they say is if I had to meet a team in the playoffs, I'd rather play that team up north because I know it's an easy dub.
Eli, how about you? Where
I think I had a
Twitter,
few.
where were you?
You said what?
No, before you were in the Twitter spaces, where were you interacting with Michigan fans at the most?
Just in person. You know, I had a couple friends here and there that were Michigan fans as well. You know, I think for me personally, like, it wasn't until, like, I would say probably to the 21 game where the narrative kind of changed. They were just saying we're not physical, we're not tough, we're not this, we're not that. And just like, you know, like you said, like, you kind of like dismiss all the 16, 17, 19. And it's kind of like they take that out their mind some kind of way and like refocus on the 2021, 2022. So that's my whole thing is like, okay, I mean, we lost 2 games, but we have a whole decade of really getting, you know, really, you know, like, for lack of a better term, like, it really took it to y'all, bro. And it's like each and every year. And like I said, man, just, you know, interacting with people in person, they kind of always be able to focus on the last 2 years and not be able to reflect on the last 10 or 12. Or they don't have the you know, they don't have the pride to do it. So, you know, for me personally, just meet them in person, you know, just talk about individual players. And it's kind of hard for me because when I came across, they don't really talk actual ball. They kind of just say things that they cling on to. Oh, they're not physical, they're not tough. They don't look at the X's and O's and players and matchups, things like that. It kind of make the rivalry what it is. So that's definitely how it's been for me.
So you ran into Lou Holtz.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, man. I got a question for y'all, man. And this is like something that always gets me. So outside of dealing with the Teton fans, do you have those friends who really don't watch college football, but yet when Ohio State starts losing in the game, or when they just jump out nowhere, like, how's the game going? Like, bro,
friends, bro.
Arkansas
friends, family,
Arkansas fans.
Anybody in my life that is in communication with me on a Saturday when Ohio State's playing bad, it's like, what's going on with your team? But I can't be mad because I'm that person too. Let me know that you have a team that you're a fan of that's not one of mine, and I catch them being ass. I'm going to call you and ask you about it. Like, Cam catches hell about the Dallas Cowboys all the time. Anyone that I know that roots for LeBron, anytime he loses, they hear from me. Like, I am that friend that calls the person when their team is losing. If Penn State's looking bad, I'll shoot off a text to my Penn State friends. Does Drew Aller really stink? And just let it sit there. Won't even respond after they say something. Like, just fucking with you. Like, but so, like, that's where I'm at. So I can only be so mad when I get those text messages.
No, see, here's the thing. I never really went at other people's fan bases or teams other than the rivalry game, right? Never really went at it. But I moved to Arkansas, all these Arkansas folks hating on Ohio State, and I'm just like, who's your program to hate on my program? So yes, of course, anytime they lose to a G5 school, yes, I'd make fun of them. Like, I'm sorry, I'm going to make fun of you every time, bro. And it just baffles me that some people, like, especially around this time, like Arkansas fans around this time have already switched to basketball. And it just baffles me. The fan bases that come at me the most don't win anything. Yeah. Nothing. Not a playoff game, not even a bowl game. I mean, it just is very baffling.
Yeah, man. It's interesting. I got a wide spectrum of, like, I guess, other fan bases throughout, even my family and just friends that, obviously don't follow Ohio State as much, but have a lot to say. Like, one of my cousins, we kind of all get into it about NFC teams and, the NFL and things like that. But another one of my friends, he claims to be I want to say a Bama fan, right? And we kind of always get into topic about draft picks, SEC versus the Big Ten. You comparing, the teams that Bama's playing against. And I always tell him, like, look, you got the Bamas, you got the Georgias, but everybody else in that conference, like, they kind of like trying to, become good to beat Bama and Georgia. But when they play everybody else, when they play against like a Mississippi State or a team like that, they don't losing the game. I'm like, when Ohio State, man, yeah, you can talk about the schedule, you can talk about this and that, but when you play us, it's going to be a really good game. And I told them, like, the past couple of years, 2020 matchup, we was out there running 4-4 with Tough Borland and whatnot. 2021 game or the 2014 game, you actually seen we had Jimmy's and Joe's what we could do, and also in the Georgia game as well. So it's kind of interesting to me how they can move away from that and not really understand the fact that when we have our guys and when we have the preparation, when we have the coaching staff, when we have the players to make the plays, Ohio State, regardless of the fact that we may not play a tough schedule in the season, when we get to the playoffs, we're gonna represent. And they just don't want to, they don't want to look into that. And I'm telling them, look, in the NFL, you got one of the most active players in the NFL are stemming from Ohio State. Look at Joey Bosa's, Nick Bosa's, Chase Young's, things like that. I'm like, these are guys that came from Ohio State, and they may not reach their peak at Ohio State, but when he gets to the NFL, they don't represent. So I think that's that's just kind of telling for me how they kind of try to get involved in that without having a real understanding of the depth and the players that we bring in year in and year out. So.
Absolutely. It feels like a lot of people have amnesia when it comes to Ohio State, especially after these past two losses. And I think it goes to the lack of respect the nation has for Michigan because they think it's so disrespectful that Michigan has done what they've done the past 2 years, when in actuality, if they were who they said they were, it would not be a surprise or a big deal or something to fucking plant a flag about if you could actually compete with your rivals. I mean, putting together that hype video, I'm rewatching it and I'm like, we really were putting belt to ass for 20 straight years. Like, I would be that excited if I was them, but it just shows how pathetic of a fan base they are because it took them 20 years to be able to celebrate these two when that was just, another Saturday in November for us for almost 20 years. So, I mean, I'm glad it's brought life back into the rivalry, but I'm ready to fucking snap that belt and return to fucking whooping ass on Saturdays in November. So I'm hoping the Buckeyes can get it done. I know we've done a lot of reflecting on how we've become so passionate about this rivalry, but I want to dive into the game this Saturday, fellas. I want to know who you guys think is going to be the X factor in the game. Actually, scratch that. I got ahead of myself in the notes. Before we go any further, I'm going to need you guys to smash that like button before we go any further. But what I wanted to ask you guys is, we're all over the country. I know Mike's traveling. We're both going to be in Ohio. What are your guys' plans for Saturday to watch the game? Because, I mean, I feel like participating in the media has changed my viewing experiences quite a bit. Normally, I'm in front of the TV by myself. I don't want anyone watching the game. And I live in Pennsylvania. No one gives a fuck about Ohio State around me. Like, I feel like college football really, like, you know what I mean? We have the fucking Steelers right there. I can see Heinz Field from the end of my street. Like, no one is worried about football on Saturdays. Like, it's not a thing around here because it's like Pitt, who gives a fuck about that? And Penn State's a couple hours away. So you don't get that college football vibe. But that's why I love being more involved in this and the friends that I've made through this. And, I doubt there's any parties for the game in Pittsburgh tomorrow, but excited to pull up on Chris Drew and see Mike and our guy Easy, and Dez is going to be there and everybody. So what are your guys' plans and how do you guys celebrate it? Because I always tell people, because like I'm constantly trying to communicate my affection for Ohio State to people that don't quite understand it and here in Pittsburgh. But I tell them the way Pittsburgh looks on a Sunday, where you could be 12 miles outside the city and you're going to see grannies in the grocery store with Steeler jerseys on, like not jerseys, not like real authentic jerseys. Like everybody is a Steelers fan to the core, no matter how far you get away from Pittsburgh. Everywhere you go on a Sunday is a Steelers Sunday. And it's like that in Columbus. And I just love that feel when you're in there on a Saturday. Every waiter, every waitress, every person you bump into over the course of the day has on Buckeye gear because it means that much to the city. So anytime that I have an opportunity to venture into Ohio and really embrace that part of the rivalry and become a part of the fan base and really tap into the roots of the state, I love that. So what are your guys' plans and how do you plan on spending this Saturday with such a huge game? Because I mean, like you said, the biggest game since 06 easily.
Yeah, man, I guess I can start. Man, for the most part, watching the game and like this will be a new experience for me. I'm probably gonna go down to Scottsdale. I know Jay Book. I'm gonna hit him after the show. He said they usually shut down the block, and there's a lot of Ohio State fans here, as you know. That's why they always play in Arizona if we get the chance to in the playoffs. But that'll actually probably be the first time that I'm not in a secluded section out my house, like, you know, in my house where I'm just like, don't bother me. I'm locked in. And like Mike the other week, he was like, it's weird not watching the game in my house because you kind of have that comfort zone where like, I don't want nobody be around me if shit go wrong. Like, right. I'll be honest. I remember the 2019 Clemson game, and my boy was leaving to actually go to, I think it was Australia at the time, to like work on one of the preserves for the animals. So I had to go over there for his going away party, and the game was at the same time. And I am on the couch like, what is going on? Like, that's not like just going crazy. They're all like, you good? I'm like, bro, I'm just not used to being away. So I will be down there, get some drinks in early, check out the people, and it should be a good experience because it's warm outside. So this is a whole new experience for me.
Eli, how about you?
Yeah, man. For me personally, man, like I always been at the house watching the game, and I think for me, probably the most mixed up emotions I had during the Ohio State game was the game last year in the playoff, and especially with that, obviously with the redacted field goal and whatnot. But just throughout that whole game, man, I was really on the edge, really just like into the game, and I felt like that was one of the times where, like, for me personally, it's like, okay, like I think with me, it was like. I didn't know how I knew I liked Ohio State, but in that moment, I couldn't control my emotions watching that game. It just kind of came out authentically out of nowhere. I'm a fan of the team. I've been a fan of the team for a long time, but that game alone, it really brought a lot out of me because I was in the living room watching the game. My nephew was out there and everything like that. And then like we missed the field goal, but I literally just dropped down. I'm just like, wow, like what I'm saying? Like, I couldn't control it, man. And just like that kind of encapsulates my fandom with the team, just like being involved in the game. So especially with this game right here, a lot of stakes on the line, man. I kind of been able to control my emotions as far as just like you have a bad drive here and there, and not scroll on Twitter right away or things like that. Because I know our fan base is going to be, obviously analyzing every drive and things like that. So for me, man, I'm gonna definitely just watch it at the house, man. Kind of just, just root for the team, man. Hopefully everything goes according to plan, but definitely gonna do that.
Yeah, Mike. Last year we watched the game together. I was with Easy and Dez in person. We were out and about in Columbus. Mike was on the playback, and I'm right there with Eli and Jay's asking over a game. Yes, bro. I am like, I saw Jeff Teague interview the other day, and he said, they're like, man, why were you so mad you push LeBron? He's like, nigga, I'm a sore loser. Like, in that, I never felt something like that ever. I'm like, preach. And like, bro, you think I want to be like this irrational or pissed off about these games? But man, it does something to me. I don't like watching these games in public. And I am self-aware enough to know that my behavior is super irrational and being that mad is ridiculous. But I feel like I'm being an adult enough to tell you, like, don't come hang out with me. Like, this is going to be awful. Like, you don't want to, like, if my team loses, it's going to be miserable. And I know, like, prime example of how awful this is. And it's I'm acknowledging on the front end, shitty person for this. But I'm warning you. I went to Chicago. Everybody knows I'm an Ohio State football fan. I'm a Duke basketball fan. I traveled to Chicago to see Duke play Kentucky in the championship classic. I was straight out of college. It was my first vacation that I paid for with my own money, saved up months for this trip. Was super excited. Duke got their ass beat. Terrible. I'm sitting there drinking, because you know what I mean. I'm thinking, we beat their ass last year. Like we're gonna be good. Like this is gonna be a great time. We got Brandon Ingram, Grayson Allen, Luke Kennard. Like we're gonna fuck Kentucky up. Man, they lost by 30. I was sitting there just drunk and mad. The championship classic is a doubleheader. I said, I am out of here. I'm not staying and watching this game. I don't want to be around people. I'm fucking pissed. And that's how I am when my team loses. Like, no, I don't want to talk to anyone. Like, leave me alone. I got to jump on the game. Or like, if I'm out and about and I'm drinking and my team loses, like, it's either about to really turn up or I'm about to be the biggest sourpuss the rest of the night.
Yeah, who was on that Kentucky team?
No one that even should have whooped our ass like that. I'll have to look it up and get back to it. I can't even, off the top of my head, I want to say it would have to been like, it would have been the year after Cat and all of them. So it wasn't that crazy of a team. Oh, actually, now that I think about it, maybe De'Aaron Fox and Malik Monk, that might have been the team. So yeah. It was definitely I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head who it was. That's who it. I'm almost positive that who it was because I'm pretty sure I was sitting near Malik Monk's family. So I'm pretty sure that was the team. So yeah, not a fun experience. I am an absolute sourpuss when I am in public and my team loses. So I'm not normally one that's like, hey, let's go out and drink. Like, well, just Saturday. Hey, come watch the Steeler game. I'm like, no, I'm enjoying my day. I'm not letting them infiltrate and ruin my Saturday. But I don't want to get too bogged down in non-OSU talk. I do want to get to the next topic. We're finally here, a few days away from the game. Who is your X factor in this game on Saturday? Mike?
For me, I think the X factor on I'd say for the defensive side of the ball for Ohio State, the X factor is Sonny Styles. It's the way that Jim Knowles will use him. Will he use him as a spy for JJ on those rollouts, or will he bring him in the box and pressure and try to stop that run game that we did last year before it got late in the game and they bust those two big runs. I think honestly Sonny Styles should have a big game and have all the opportunities. Will he be able to capitalize off of those opportunities?
That's good. He probably took my answer. I would have said Sonny Styles on defense because that's what I was thinking coming up in the box. In the offense, I mean, this guy really shouldn't be the X factor, but I talked about him earlier in the week. I'd say Emeka Egbuka. I think he has to have a big time game. We know they're going to do the Marvin, going to put a safety over the top and say, all right, he's got two people on double coverage. If I was Michigan, I'd do it to Cade Stover as well. I'm like, yo, sit in front of Cade Stover at linebacker and just don't move. Kyle will be there. He's going to look. So I think Emeka Egbuka is the guy that we're going to have to help explode into this game. And obviously, we found ways to give him the ball last week. I expect us to keep that trending.
For me, man, I've been pushing this Trayvon Henderson propaganda all year. So, my guy Trey, man, I think being able to utilize him in the pass game and the run game between tackles, outside of tackles. I think as McCord tries to get more comfortable within the game, Trey getting those key first downs is going to be critical. Keeping the chains moving, helping us stay on schedule. I think for him personally, obviously he wasn't able to play last year. He was kind of banged up in his freshman year and whatnot. So I think for Trey, man, I think being able to have those tough yards, being able to be that explosive back that's a home run threat, being able to be an easy read from a core, whether it be in the flats, whether it be, in a short to intermediate game. I think it's gonna be huge, man. Obviously, I think obviously Michigan's they're gonna try to blitz McCord early in offense. So definitely also in the pass pro. I think being able for being able for Trey to be able to be effective in the pass pro, help him core it out, help him be able to stay in the pocket, go through progressions, things like that. So I'm gonna have to go Trey, man. I think he's really all-purpose back, and I think he's definitely gonna be the X factor for that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Emeka Buka because I feel like if all of the traditional weapons that have been playing well recently, as far as Cade, Marv, and Travion Henderson, continue to do what they do, and then Emeka Buka is able to have a performance like he had last week and lead the team in receptions, I feel like this team is going to have too many weapons for Michigan to handle on Saturday. So I feel like Emeka, a person that we've always thought was going to be the scale tipper per se, as far as being the extra weapon on that offense that is just too much, that pushes the offense that much into an advantage. So I'm going to go with Emeka there. The injury report has come out, and Ryan Day has hinted at Tommy Eichenberg and Mike Hall making a return this week. How much of a difference do you think that makes for the defense, adding those guys back?
All that needs to be said is huge difference. You could tell last year. I want to say we all talked about those key downs, right? How mad were we when we see Jerron Cage and Jerron Vincent going out there? So having Mike Hall back is key. I want to say Tommy did a pretty good job last year in stopping the run game. So when you're talking about stopping the run and then also being able to get home on that team up north, man, you need Mike Hall. You need those athletic, twitched up guys because that's what we felt like we was missing last year. And, when you have a Mike Hall and a Tyleek Williams paired up, it's pick your poison. It literally is. And I can just see one of those guys is going to get off. And we know how Mike Hall likes to play in those big-time games.
Yeah, handling with Mike. Yeah, Mike Hall is big time, but I thought Tommy Eichenberg was the big key missing here. Definitely in the run defense. I talked about it. Our front seven versus their offensive line is the matchup to win or lose the game, in my opinion. We hold them to 3 yards a carry, 2 yards a carry. So even last year we did that well until the end of the game. That's ball game for me. I think we'll put up enough points to do it. So Tommy Eichenberg filling those gaps, Still Chambers and Cody Simon, they got to be ready to go, man. We can't have missed gaps because that's the only way they're really exploding through the line. So I think that's big time. And Mike Hall in pass rush, obviously he's the best pass rush D tackle in the Big Ten. So to get after JJ, we know their tackles is a little bit food. So LJ, this is your time, man.
Yeah, dial it up, man. For sure, man. I think it's huge. Mike Hall coming back, man. Another counterpart to Tyleek, and I think he has that attitude and that dog in him. I think for him, he's had a couple big games this year, but I think he's bound to have one really big game. What a better way to do it than obviously against Michigan on the road, man. I think with him, he brings that energy. Like you said, he's a really good pass rusher. I think pairing him with Tyleek in there with run fits, getting after the quarterback, making it uncomfortable. Also, Tommy being able to settle the guys as far as the linebacker unit. I think they're gonna have really big tests as far as being able to stop the run. So it's definitely huge that I have Mike back, and hopefully, gets one off, man. I think for him, this is a big game for him. Being able to hopefully increase his draft starts. So I think that's a big deal.
Absolutely. It's great having those guys back, and I think they're definitely going to be big difference makers. Before we get on to the next topic, make sure you guys smash that like button. Big shout out to everyone that's been supporting us lately. Big content day today. Had our morning roast go off around 10 a.m. this morning. I made an appearance on Mark Rogers TV, and then here hitting you guys with a third show for the Fans Edge. We appreciate you supporting us. Not sure yet if we're going to have content for you tomorrow on Thanksgiving, but we will keep it rolling with the Buckeye Roast back on Friday morning, and then tons of content coming to you on Saturday for the game. Mike and Q doing an instant reaction on Mark Rogers TV. Me and Chris Drew an instant reaction on the Bleacher Report app. And, of course, the flagship Buckeye BS Sunday morning. So make sure you tap in at 10 a.m. I want to hit you guys with a couple rapid-fire questions before we get out of here. And just before we keep going, if you are going out tonight, do not drink and drive. Get a fucking Uber. Just a warning. Just I know y'all is hitting the streets tonight. I know y'all are gonna be drunk. Do not fucking drive. Yeah, right. City boy.
You about to go get them free drinks at the bar around the corner, man. Stop playing, Q. We know you.
Saying Q about to have 4 girlfriends by the end of the night. So I want to ask you.
I sent them one last night.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You know, Q plugging in the 3D printer before he goes out.
Yo, Mike
man.
gotta chill, bro.
We got. Do we have a legacy game in the making, man? I got 4 names for you, and I want to let you guys know who you think has the biggest opportunity of having a legacy game. We got Travion Henderson, Kyle McCord, Ryan Day, or Jim Knowles. Who do you think has the most to gain and could potentially have a legacy game tomorrow with a win? Q?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll go and shoot this one. I will go Kyle McCord on this one, and this is why. I think Jim Knowles is what he is. We know he's just cementing his legacy at this point. You know, pulled out the cigar and light it like I told y'all what was going to happen. I think Ryan Day here gets the win. If he gets the win, it's fine, and we expect that from him. Travion Henderson has been on this train. You know, the last few games we're like, okay, we expect a big game from Trey. Kyle McCord is the true X factor here. He's the biggest, like, if we could just get Kyle to play well, like, we dominate this game. So that's the guy where it's like, Kyle, man, we're all is forgiven. Just come out here and ball out in this game. We will forget everything that's happened the past 11 weeks. So he's the guy with the biggest opportunity here.
Yeah. Mine's is going to be Ryan Day, man. I know a lot of people was calling for Ryan Day's job, calling for his head, right? And I was telling you guys, I think that you all should pump the brakes. Now we hear about the Michigan scandal that done came out. They done cheated my guy Ryan Day. And to be honest, if he goes out and beat that team up north in their house, I think he silenced all the critics, all the doubters. That soft talk about his program and just being a finesse team will be laid to rest, because nowhere in this season can you say that Ohio State won one game this year off of finesse. Not one. So Ryan Day, I think, has the most to gain for this. I think he will get the whole state of Ohio back around him and rallying around him. And then also, you know, the people, you know, who pay them checks over there, they're going to rally around him as well, man. So this is Ryan Day's legacy game, because I think it determines his future here at Ohio. You don't want to be known as a coach that took 3 L's in a row.
Especially to Sharon Moore this year, you know, without that going on. But I'm going to definitely say Jim Knowles, man. I'm going to keep it short and simple. I think, you know, obviously, past couple of years, being able to stop him. I was going to go that route, but, you know, I'm going to go Jim Knowles. You know, I'm going to go with Jim Knowles, you know. And I'm going to just say more so because stopping the run. Like, past couple of years, you know, we allowed 300 yards rushing from Michigan matchup. I think Jim Knowles being able to dial up, like Mike said, being able to, you know, probably get a third linebacker in there, maybe slide Sonny in there, playing closer to the box, man. I think what he does on that front, I think is definitely important, man. I think being able to stop the run, being able to get quality stops and get the ball back to our offense so we can get back on schedule and things like that. So I'm definitely going to Jim Knowles. I think for him, he can cement his legacy. You know, everybody, you know, they've been seeing how he's been, you know, obviously improving as a defense, but they're still on standby. So it's like, if you going to Michigan, being able to stop them on what they do well at a really effective rate, for me personally, I think that's going to be a legacy for him, especially after all the critics and things like that they've been hearing throughout the offseason.
Absolutely. I think this is a Jim Knowles potential legacy game. All the criticism, people calling for his jobs. We were doing graphics of Jim Knowles' face on a clock at the beginning of the season, because if he didn't get this right, it would have been his last year in Columbus. And I think he did right the ship, and I think he's going to prove a lot of doubters wrong tomorrow or on Saturday. I want to get to a super chat from our guy Alpha Male. Fuck scum. Go Bucks. Is the BDMG going to be dropping content this offseason? Can we see Ron no beanie and Q no hoodie pause for the OSU win? I will make a promise to you guys. If the Buckeyes win, you will get an episode of the Buckeye Roast with no beanie, and I will wear a regular hat. So you got my word there. I will wear a baseball cap instead of a beanie. I think you might be able to put on. I think Q will take the hoodie off and put on a jacket for you. So
Nah, bro.
they saw the way
jacket.
Scotty was talking in the chat now, and they want Q to start an OnlyFans. That's crazy.
Much, man.
I just put the hoodie on while I'm working, but I can change up the fits for the show in the morning, man. If that's what you want, bro, I got you. You're the people.
That's honestly my favorite comment that we get, because we get it quite regularly. They're like, "Where do these niggas live? They got on hoodies and hats for 365 days a year," and it's like, no, it's not cold. It is cold when you have this little hair on your head. Like, you have to wear a hat. It's just like, it's so you don't get too cold during the show.
Bro,
Come on down to Texas, your hair grow back.
Mike,
6 or 7 in the morning.
I know we're up
in the morning for me.
I know we're up against it time wise, Mike. Do you got some time for some rapid fiber, dude? Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm on my sales pitch. If you need high speed internet, hit up BMG for some rapid fiber. We got fiber lines coming to a town near you. A rapid fire questions, Mike. You got some time. We got about 4 for the defense, 5 for the offense. So I'm going to ask you guys some over-unders. We're going to keep it real quick. Just let me know over-under on some of these, because this is going to sum up how you guys think the game's going to go, and then we got a couple questions to get out of here. So first one, Kyle McCord, over-under 1.5 touchdowns. Q, touchdown passes.
Over.
Mike.
Over.
They
Over.
Man, all the people that screen record spaces, if only they knew we did it.
Hey, they better be in here. They say we not outside. They say that they can't get in contact with you, Ron, but you right here.
Right here.
You outside.
Hey, Anthony can do anything.
It's crazy, bro. Twitter was too scary of a place, so I decided to go hide on Bleacher Report.
They talking on Discord too. They talking about Discord too, man. I'm like, bro,
Trevion Henderson over under 100 yards. By the way, I'm saying Kyle McCord over 1.5 touchdowns as well. You heard it here first from all 4 of us on the record. Q, how about you? 100 yards for Trevion Henderson.
I will go over. I will go over for this one.
Look at my man getting respect, man.
Are we saying 100 rushing yards or just 100
rushing yards
total?
Rushing yards.
Oh, yeah. I mean, honestly, what Chip was able to do last year, if we had kept running, he'd have had 100. So with Trey and the explosives, of course. Yes.
Oh, man, look at Mike, man, talking about Trey, man. It brings joy to my heart, man.
I made you
feel favorite times like this, man. But over.
Over. We got overs. I'm gonna go with the under. I feel like Trevion and Chip get involved, and I feel like Trey's gonna be involved heavily in the.
All right, we're done with that. I'm sorry. We're not letting Ron get the come back, Ron.
I was sitting there. My camera started to freeze. I was like, what just happened?
I pulled it, Ron.
He pulled a me. Yeah, man. I'm going to go with under. I think Trey gets more involved in the pass game. I don't know. I think all purpose, he definitely goes over 100, but I don't know if he gets there solely on the ground. I think we do see a decent dosage of Chip as well, just to keep Trey fresh in this game. Who will lead the team in receptions while we're talking about pass catchers? Q, let me know who you got there.
Ooh. I have to go with K Stover. I want to say Emeka, but I think K is going to be the safety blanket.
I'm going with the Mecca. It's going to be a Mecca. They're going to bracket Marv, and what we have seen is Kyle seems to be more comfortable with the healthy Mecca throughout this season than he has. Than he has been with anybody else. So,
yeah, I'm going to go with Mecca as well, man.
You go with the Mecca as well. I've been saving this segment for the entire show. I know we talked about legacy games, but this is the person I truly believe is going to have a legacy game, and I left them purposely off the list. I'm going to go with my guy, Julian Fleming, legacy game on Saturday. No.
Yeah. He's not even getting a target.
I think they're going to try their best to take Marv out of the game, and I think they're going to be unsuccessful. I think Marv leads the team in receptions, and I think they are going to run my favorite play that I've been waiting for all season. It's called Fuck It, Marv's Down There Somewhere, and I feel like that's going to work quite well for the Buckeyes, so I hope they pull that one out of the playbook. Next leading receiver after Cade, Emeka, and Marv. Who is going to be third, or who is going to be fourth in receptions for the Buckeyes? I mean, you got guys like Travion Henderson, Xavier Johnson, Julian Fleming, Carnell Tate. Who you guys got there as far as the fourth in receptions for the Buckeyes on Saturday?
Yeah, give me Jaden Ballard. No, I'm just kidding. I wish.
Are we counting punts, fielding as receptions?
Yeah, we're counting punts. I'm gonna go Carnell Tate. We always have the freshman pops out in the big time game. I want to say Xavier Johnson, but I'll leave him to y'all. I'll take Carnell Tate.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna have to go with Tate too. That was the person who was on my mind. I don't know about y'all, but I remember when the number 17 was out there as a freshman and was coming on late in the season or whatever, and what he was able to do. So I'm expecting Carnell Tate to work that magic because I've been wanting to see him out there on the field a little bit more, and kind of wanted to see, maybe him and Julian maybe split a little bit more time versus Julian get on all the reps.
I'm gonna go Trey. I think use him in the pass game, quick and intermediate. I think he can. I probably I'll say about 7-8 catches. He probably get that. I think as far as just being able to be effective in the pass game, get him out of space. Give us easy conversions and booty change on first down, things like that. So I'm gonna go Trey.
Absolutely. So now let's flip over to the defensive side of the ball. The number we've talked about all year on Bleacher Report, Chris Drew and I, is 17. We have not seen a team score more than 17 points on the Buckeyes. We don't believe any team in the country can do it. Will someone do it on Saturday? Over under 17.5 points by the team up north on Saturday, Q.
Me, I'm going over. I think they are around 24, and I've said it, 30 is the mark for us. I think if we get 30, we cannot be beat.
Under 17.5, defense holds them under. I don't know about you all, but since I've been watching these games, yes, in the beginning of the season, they came out like a bolt of lightning. It was like, okay, they might be a team, but I don't know if you guys been watching, but those stats don't seem the same these past few weeks since, Mr. Stallions is gone. JJ doesn't look the same. The offensive line cannot pick up pressures the same. A lot of things have changed. So, yeah, I'm going under, man. Honestly, I think I've seen more out of Sam Hartman as a QB than I have JJ. So
I'm gonna do it under as well, man. I think our defense is going to be able to, like I said with Jim Knowles, if he's able to dial it up, stop the run, that's going to force them to have to, rely on the pass. And I think we have the corners outside to match up with them in the secondary. So I'm going under.
Over under. I'm also going to go under. I said I don't believe a team can score over 17 points. My only concern here is I'm not sure if my offense can score 17 points. But over under 0.5 turnovers. Do the Buckeyes force a turnover on Saturday, Q?
Yes, I'm going over. I'm with Mike. We might go 2 turnovers. I need my guy Brock Osby one more to cement his legacy. My house on the island is going crazy in value, so I need Proc to get one. And then I want a strip sack, man. I would love to have a strip sack in this game. That would just, to close it out, that would be amazing.
As my guy Denzel Burke said, this is a respect game. And, one thing that our defense has wanted to do is get their hands on more footballs. And one thing we have seen, when they do get their hand on the football, they love to take it to the house. So, yes. 2 turnovers, man. Have you seen JJ?
I'm just going under, man. I think for us, man, as long as we could just keep them off schedule, that's just as effective as getting turnovers and whatnot. But I'm probably saying the under. I think we definitely get one though, especially in the pass game. Once we are able to force JJ to be more of a passer. So I definitely think I'm probably saying the under.
Q, we did a whole episode this week on the rushing game and the impact that it's going to have. And clearly you can tell from the way I've written shows all week that I believe the run game is going to be a huge factor in this game. So we are going to wrap it up with 3 over-unders in regards to the Michigan run game. JJ McCarthy, allegedly, according to some crackhead in the spaces, he runs a 4.2. He's the fastest man to ever grace the field and wear a Michigan uniform. So I think he's going to be a huge threat in the run game. I have JJ McCarthy over under 30 rushing yards.
Give me under. Give me under. I think we hold him in check. He might get one little short 10-yard run, but I think that'll be it.
Mike?
Yeah, Team Up North fans been saying that he has a bum knee. I don't think that they're going to try to use him that way.
Excuses.
Under.
Eli?
Wait, you're talking the under with
There you go.
JJ?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, over under for 30 yards, JJ.
Yeah, I think he goes under. I think he goes under. I think we're able to, obviously stab at the pass rush and be able to, affect him in the pocket a little bit. And I think definitely we have Sonny as a spy. I think that would definitely limit that. Being able to run for those big, first downs and things like that. So I'm probably going under.
Absolutely. Another statistic we've talked about a ton this year is limiting the explosive plays. The Buckeyes have only given up 2 plays over 40 yards, one of them on a trick play, the other one on Cameron Martinez, so neither one of those count. The Buckeyes have done a great job limiting the explosive plays over under a rush attempt for 35 yards. So do you think the Michigan Wolverines have a run for over 35 yards? Q.
No, I don't. I think they may get some nice runs in there, but Blake Corum doesn't have the speed to do that. And we hope Donovan Everett's in check. Nobody miss a gap and we'll be all right. So riding with Jim Knowles on this one. I'm going under.
He got that badass kid speed. I don't know, man. Sometimes after a long day at work, it's hard to catch those kids when they start running with those stubby little legs.
We don't have a Ronnie Hickman who's scared to come down in Laterwood. We don't have Cam Brown who's scared to make those tackles and stuff like that. No offense to them guys, but the guys, I mean, honestly, it's just an upgrade. And there's a reason why these guys have not given up those type of explosives. I don't see that coming in this game either because that's not part of Corum's game. A lot of people have said that he's put on weight, and it seems like it made him slower.
Yeah, man. Like I said earlier, Jim knows legacy game, man. Being able to scheme up, obviously having a third linebacker in there can help, stop the run and limit those explosive plays. Also in the run game, not only just in the pass game. So, I definitely think I'm gonna say the under on that.
So it brings us to our last over under, and I think this might be a deciding factor in the game. Blake Corum, does he go over or under 100 yards on Saturday?
I'm going under, and here's the reason why, bro. Because
fuck them, fuck Michigan. That's why.
Yeah, no, definitely fuck them. But I want to tell you all why, bro. Because we watched guys, undrafted guys, before they broke their 2 big runs. We watched undrafted guys hold them to maybe 2 yards a carry. Now we have depth. We can rotate. Those guys that was out there that was doing that played the entire game. The entire game, right? When you look at their snap count. It's not happening this year, bro. They're not getting them big runs. They're not an explosive team. Like they got points off of explosives last year. They don't get points off of explosives this year. So it's not happening, bro. And like you said, the explosives isn't part of Blake Corum's game. So no, he does not get 100 yards on us.
Yeah, I'm just thinking volume of runs. I mean, if he gets the ball 35 times, how many yards does he have to average? I will go under, but it'll be close.
Yeah, I'm going there as well. I do think they're going to try to get Donovan Edwards involved in the run game. So I think that's kind of going to be a split carries type thing. So I'm going to go under for sure.
I am also going to go under because if he goes over, I'm going to have a call with my cardiologist after the game. So for the sake of my health, I hope he goes for under, and I'm going to stick with under. Before we get out of here, I want to wish everyone a safe, happy holiday. I know it is a big night for people drinking, so make sure you get home safe and enjoy your time with your family. Fellas, I got 2 more questions for you. Big eating day, your guy's a fat boy, so I love a holiday that involves some food. I have a very fat family, so Thanksgiving is always a disappointing for me because we have even fucking more food at Christmas because we even have more food then. So it being this feasting holiday really isn't a thing for my family because we have an even bigger gathering on Christmas, if it's even possible to believe that we have more food than on Thanksgiving. What are you guys most excited to see on the table this Thursday, Q?
Typically it's yams and peach cobbler. Those are the 2 where I'm like, all right, bet I got a little bit of a sweet tooth. So as long as those are somewhere in the vicinity, I'm good to go.
Well, I haven't been back home in 4 years, so I'm going to say everything, man. I have not had home cooking in 4 years, so everything. And, I was born on Turkey Day, so it's one of my favorite holidays as well. And Yeah, my mom
Mike
is
gonna be
making.
kissing porcelain
Hey,
tonight. You know he about to turn up.
Boy, hey, my stepmom is making peach cobbler tomorrow. As she said, hey, what would you like me to make for your birthday? And I was like, man, I ain't had no peach cobbler in a minute, man. So yeah, I'm pretty excited for that peach cobbler. I saw her making the yams as well, and then she was she did the salt brine on the turkey, and oh man, I'm excited. I'm ready.
Yeah, man. I'm always a mac and cheese guy for sure. So I'm doing mac and cheese, man. Not like a good, mac and cheese. You know what I'm saying? Not too much water, but just enough. I would do that, man. That's always been first and foremost when I get, So I make sure I get the most of that. And,
Y'all about
kind
to
of go from there.
Y'all about to cook me, bro. I have not, man, since it turned turkey week, man, I have not stopped thinking about some gravy. I put it on my turkey, I put it on my rolls, I put it on my mashed potatoes. I need some fucking gravy. I put it on some dressing. I need some gravy. I need some stuffing. I'm normally a big yams guy, but for some reason, bro, as soon as this week hit, I was like, man, all I know is I'm gonna be dipping everything in some gravy on Thursday. So man, I'm excited to see my family on Thursday. I want to wish everyone a happy Thanksgiving and make sure you enjoy it because the Buckeyes might fuck around and ruin your week. So enjoy your time with your family before the game on Saturday. But hopefully the party rolls on the holiday weekend and we are celebrating. A big shout out to our guy Eric Montoya. He's a huge supporter on the timeline. Happy birthday to Mike. And
appreciate that. My bad. Appreciate you, Eric.
Let me buy you a shot. So shout out to our guy Eric. Mike is going to be celebrating his birthday, fellas. Before I let you go into your holiday weekend, I have to get your final score prediction before we sign off for our last show before Thanksgiving. Q, what is your score prediction?
I've said the magic number is 30. I'm going with Buckeyes 30, Michigan 24.
I'm going with 24-14. Ohio State wins by 10 points.
That's the mom, but I'm gonna say 24-17, right around there.
I'm going to go 27-14. I think the Buckeyes complete a season without a single team going over 17 points. After the defensive struggles that we have lived through, Ryan Day and Jim Knowles have themselves a legacy day, and the Buckeyes come out victorious on Saturday and they end up with a clean slate. What has our saying always been? Don't fucking ruin my Saturday. And the Buckeyes have done a good job on 11 of them this year, and hopefully they can get us a 12th. So go Bucks and OH. Boys, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, man, I'll go first. First of all, happy birthday to Mike. Celebrating tomorrow. Cheers to him. Do not ruin Mike's birthday, Ohio State. Get it done. But yeah, if you want to find me, Cityboy Quentin on Twitter, Flying Johnson on Instagram. I talk movies and minor league films. If you're interested in that, and I'll be here tomorrow morning. Are we doing the show tomorrow morning? Let's get a little late AM.
If my laptop comes in, I'll join you guys.
Right. Absolutely, yeah. I'm not heading over to see my family till late in the afternoon, Q. So if you shoot me a text and you want to go live tomorrow morning, we can do it. Eli, let the people know where they can find you.
Yeah, man. You can find me on Twitter at your boy Eli, and I'll be on there. Obviously talking football and things like that. And that's really the main one I'll be on. I always go on Twitter. You probably won't see no articles, Michigan fans, or just people in general. But that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm located. And also, happy birthday to my guy Mike, man. I hope it's a good one, man.
Absolutely. Happy birthday to Mike, and big thank you to Eli for joining us on the platform these past couple weeks, and definitely keep an eye out for him for more content here on the Best Damn Media platform. Hopefully bringing you guys some Duke basketball content here once Ohio State football winds down here a little bit. I know Q's a Maryland fan. He has his Len Bias jersey on under that.
Damn, was that long?
Damn. But yeah,
the way this season going, shit.
But fingers crossed, we don't have time to do any college basketball content for a couple months because the Buckeyes will hopefully be playing in a Big Ten championship and competing for the playoffs. If you want to find me, you can find me on Twitter at 2Ts. It's 2_TEES. Make sure you check out my appearances today on the Voice of College Football with Mark Rogers this afternoon, right after Zach Smith's segment today. That was awesome. So big shout out to Mark Rogers for having us. Keep an eye out for me and Chris Drew on Bleacher Report for the instant reaction after the game. Q and Mike on the Voice of College Football Ohio State channel for their instant reaction. College football pregame show with Chris Drew Saturday morning. And of course, the flagship Buckeye BS on Sunday. Big thank you for everyone joining us. Happy holidays. Have a safe night. And thank you all for tuning in. Go Bucks and OH.
Ayo.
Ayo.